Hello, the lesson of today is plate tectonics. When we say plate tectonics, we understand two words. The first one is plate, the second one is tectonic. Plate means part of lithosphere. This is a part of lithosphere. Lithosphere is a solid part of the earth. Is where we can find, for instance, stones, we can find trees, we can find houses, and also different human activities. Apart from plate, let's see tectonic. Simply, tectonic means movement. When plate and tectonic are combined together, they give us a full meaning of plate tectonics. This is the component of the crust moving or floating on the mantle. Component of the crust floating or moving on the mantle. This means that the component of the crust that are floating or moving on the mantle, they give us the meaning or full meaning of plate tectonics. Now, to understand this clearly, let us see the structure of the earth. This is the structure of the earth, where it is made by 3 layers. The first one is this one is core. The second one is mantle. The last is called crust. So let us see crust. This crust is the outer part of the structure of the earth. It's also known as a solid part of the earth, which is called the lithosphere. This mantle is the middle part of the structure of the earth, and the core is the inner part of the structure of the earth. Now, here on the mantle, we have different plates. Let us take example of 2 plates. Can find, for instance, continental plates and oceanic plates. Now, from those 2 plates that you have here, those plates, we can ask ourselves, why are those plates moving? This is a good question. Why are those plates moving? To understand this principle clearly, let us see. For example, have you ever seen a pan full of water? We have a pan full of water. It is on the stove. This is heat applied on that pan. You want to boil this amount of water that are in this pan, and you want this liquid to reach at 100 degrees Celsius. So when the heat is applied there will be a movement of water. When it is about to reach at this degrees Celsius, there will be a movement of water rising from down up. Here also there is a rising from down up, a circulation of convection current. Those movement of water, this is what we call convection. This process is called convection, and this movement of water which is moving from down in upward to upward direction is what we call, here we have convection current. So those convection currents, from this example, let us see why those plates are moving. Those plates are moving due to, here in the core there is much temperature or excessive temperature. This excessive temperature lead to rising of currents toward these plates attacking on the mantle. When those currents or convection currents applied on the mantle from the inner part of the earth known as core, it leads to those plates to vibrate or to make motion. When they are making motion, one can go in right direction, another one can go in the left direction. So I think that you understand why those plates are. You understand the reason why the plates are moving. In short words, those plates are moving because they are moving because convectional current rising from the core part of the earth towards the plates attacked on the mantle, From that, the plates are now starting to vibrate. This situation, when you analyze, you look at the structure of the earth where plates are located, you can see that the first plate and the second plate, the first plate and the second plate, when they are joining together, there is a place where those two plates are meeting together. This place is what we call boundary. or plate boundary. So you can ask yourself, what is plate boundary? A plate boundary is where two plates are joining together. Now, from that, after knowing the meaning of plate boundary, let us see the types. Here we have plate boundary. This is where two plates are joining together. We have different types of plate boundary. Those types are, we have convergent, plate boundary, we have divergent, plate boundary, and the last one we have transform plate boundary. Let us see one by one. Begin from convergent plate boundary. Convergent plate boundary is a boundary formed due to oceanic plates and the continental plates are joining together. Here we have oceanic plate, here we have oceanic plate when is joining with continental plate. This is the continental plate. Here we have oceanic plate. So when they are meeting together or joining together, due to this oceanic plate is too much heavier than convectional plate, from that it will be subducted beneath continental plate. This one, it is too much heavier than continental plate. From that it will be subducted beneath beneath continental plate. So you see, this is oceanic plate, this is oceanic plate, this is continental plate. Because this oceanic plate is too much heavier than continental plate, it will be subducted beneath continental plate. As it is subducted, there will be a destruction of mantle. So as there will be a destruction of mantle. In such case, this convergent plate boundary, it can have, or it can take another name, which is destructive plate boundary, because it will destroy the mantle as it is subducted towards beneath the continental plate. Here there is a mantle. This mantle will be damaged. Mantle which is located here will be damaged. Is that reason why this convergent plate boundary is also called destructive plate boundary? Apart from convergent plate boundary, let us talk about the second one, or the second type of plate boundary, known as divergent plate boundary. So divergent plate boundary is also another type of plate boundary which is formed due to the meeting of two plate boundaries, which are continental plate boundaries. They form divergent plate boundary. So here we can say here we have continental plate, here we have oceanic plate, here we have convection currents. When convection currents are applied to continental plates, there will be a movement of plates. This one can move to the right direction, and this one can go to the left direction. And due to this, remember that in the interior of the earth there is materials. When these tectonic boundaries are moved away from each other, there will be a hole. In this hole, there will be a sanding of igneous. These are igneous materials which are forced to come on the earth's surface. They will be cooled down as they are very hot when they are still in the interior of the earth. As they are standing towards outside of the earth, they will become cool, or they will be cooled down to form a small mountain. This will be called the volcano, which is formed volcano. Remember that those molten materials from the interior of the earth, they will ascending towards on the surface of the earth. When they are reaching on the surface of the earth, they are becoming very cool and form the mountain which is known as a volcano. So from that, there is a formation of new landform known as a volcano. That's why It is also called constructive plate boundary. Why is it constructive plate boundary? Because during this process there will be a formation of new landform. That formation of new landform is called that new landform which is formed newly is called a volcano. Now you understand that you can say divergent plate boundary as well as you can say constructive plate boundary. Good. Then let's talk about the last one, which is transform plate boundary. Transform plate boundary. A transform plate boundary is a boundary formed due to meeting of two oceanic plates. When two oceanic plates are meeting together, these are two oceanic plates. Here there is ocean currents which are coming from one to each other. It means that they are joining together. When they are tending to join together, here there is a formation of horizontal movement of those plates. As a result, there will be this movement or this direction. One will move up, another one will move down due to convection currents rise. So, a horizontal movement or motion will take place as two oceanic plates are joining together, From that, there will be no new form of landform. That's the reason why it also called a conservative plate boundary. It is conservative plate boundary because there is no new form of landform and there is no destructive So in such case it can also have another name. Apart from transform plate boundary, it can also be a conservative plate boundary.